Creating lasting wealth is a choice. It is not about working harder. It is about working smarter and thinking differently. Millionaires follow clear rules that guide every financial decision they make. In this video, you will see how they manage money, protect it, and grow it over time. You will learn why automating savings, investing early, and avoiding lifestyle traps are essential. You will understand the power of smart risk management, building networks, and teaching your family the right principles. These are practical, actionable strategies that anyone can follow to achieve financial stability and freedom. This is about more than money. It is about creating security, opportunity, and a future that lasts for generations. Pay attention to every detail, because these rules are the foundation for building real wealth and leaving a meaningful legacy. Now let's dive in. Number 1. Automate your savings to build wealth consistently over time. Wealth does not appear suddenly. It grows from repeated actions. Millionaires understand this, and one of their strongest habits is automation. They know that saving money cannot depend on moods, willpower, or good intentions. It must depend on a system. System that moves money into savings before you ever get the chance to spend it. When you automate your savings, you build a structure that keeps working for you every single day, no matter what happens. Most people make the mistake of waiting until the end of the month to see what is left to save. Often nothing is left. Bills, shopping, small comforts, nights out, unexpected expenses, they take it all. That is why the wealthy pay themselves first. Not after everything else, but first. They create an automatic transfer that moves money into a savings or investment account the moment income arrives. This one discipline changes everything. Because if you save what is left, nothing will be left. But if you save first, you protect your future before the world gets a chance to take it away. Automation removes the debate in your mind. It stops the cycle of asking yourself, should I save this month? The answer is already decided. The money has already moved. Even if it is a small amount at first, the habit matters more than the size. $10 saved is better than none. And when you do it every week or every month, the small amounts grow into something meaningful. Over time, you look at your account and realize you have built a cushion. That cushion is security. That cushion is opportunity. That cushion is confidence. Millionaires never wait until they feel rich to start saving. They became rich because they saved when it was hard, when it was inconvenient, when the amounts seemed too small to matter. They knew that starting early and building consistency mattered more than waiting for the perfect day. Too many people tell themselves they will start saving later, when they earn more. But if you cannot handle $100 wisely, you will not handle 10,000 wisely. Discipline is not a gift that comes with more money. It is a habit that begins where you are. Think about how good it feels when you realize your savings are growing without effort. While you are at work, while you are sleeping, while you are living your life, your system is building your future. That feeling changes how you walk, how you plan, how you face challenges. Because you know you are not starting from zero. You know you are moving forward every day. This is why automation is not just a financial strategy. It is a psychological shift. It takes away the constant temptation to spend everything. It protects you from your weaker days. It gives you proof that you are capable of progress. Setting it up is simple. You decide a percentage of your income, maybe 10%, maybe 5%, maybe even more if you can, and you direct it into a separate account. Some people use savings accounts, some use investment accounts, some divide it into both. The numbers can change, but the principle never does. You do not wait until the end to save. You save at the beginning. Automation teaches you another important rule: living on what is left. When savings move automatically, you adapt to the remaining amount. You cut waste. You spend more carefully. You think about your priorities. That is how you develop discipline without constantly fighting yourself. Instead of forcing yourself to save, You build a system where saving happens automatically and spending adjusts naturally. Consistency is the secret here. Not big one-time efforts, but steady action. Millionaires know that wealth is built drop by drop. $200 saved each month becomes $2,400 in a year. In 5 years, it becomes $12,000. Add the growth from compound interest or investment returns, and the numbers climb higher. What started small becomes life-changing. Those numbers represent security in emergencies, opportunities for investments, or the ability to help your family without fear. The difference between those who struggle and those who thrive is not luck, not education, not even talent. It is discipline, and discipline is best built into a system. Millionaires design their systems to make discipline automatic. That is why they grow wealth when others spend everything. Automation is not only about you today. It is about the future you are building. It is about the family who will benefit from your decisions. It is about the legacy that will live after you are gone. When you automate your savings, you are silently creating peace of mind for those who depend on you. You are showing them by example that money is not a mystery. It is a matter of choices and habits. And here is another benefit. Automation frees your energy. Instead of worrying every month about how much you saved, you know it is handled. That space in your mind is now available for bigger goals. You can focus on learning new skills, growing your career, building relationships, or starting ventures. Millionaires automate the basics so they can give their attention to creating bigger opportunities. Every time your savings account grows, it reinforces your belief in yourself. You feel stronger, more capable, more disciplined, and that belief spills into other areas of your life. You eat better, you work harder, you take risks more confidently, because you know you are building something real behind the scenes. Money saved is not just numbers. It is proof of discipline. It is proof of consistency. It is proof of your ability to create a future on purpose. Start with what you have right now. Do not wait. Decide a percentage. Set up the transfer, and let the system work. The habit will grow stronger. The account will grow larger, and your confidence will grow deeper. That is how millionaires think. They design the future they want. And it begins with one simple rule. Automate your savings to build wealth consistently over time. Number 2. Protect your money with insurance and smart risk management. Earning money is only one part of wealth. Keeping it safe is another. Many people work hard, they save, they invest, but they forget that money can disappear just as quickly if it is not protected. Millionaires understand that protection is as important as growth. They know that one accident, one illness, one lawsuit, or one disaster can wipe out years of progress if they are not prepared. That is why they build a shield around their wealth with insurance and smart risk management. Insurance is not exciting. It is not glamorous, but it is necessary. It is the safety net that makes sure your progress is not destroyed by something unexpected. Health insurance protects you from medical bills that could bankrupt you. Life insurance secures your family if something happens to you. Property insurance saves you from starting over after a fire or accident. Liability insurance protects you when others try to claim what you own. These are not luxuries. They are essentials for anyone serious about keeping their financial life intact. Millionaires do not gamble with risks they cannot afford to lose. They transfer those risks to systems that are designed to handle them. Smart risk management is about more than just buying policies. It is about understanding where your biggest dangers are and preparing in advance. If you have a family where responsibility is greater, if you own a business, your risks multiply. If you invest, you must protect yourself against sudden losses. Millionaires take the time to think about the worst-case scenarios and put solutions in place before those scenarios ever arrive. That is wisdom. That is foresight. That is what separates those who survive from those who collapse under pressure. Think about the feeling of working for 10 years, building a strong financial foundation, and then losing it all because of one medical emergency. It happens every day to people who thought they were safe. Millionaires refuse to allow that to happen. They see insurance not as an expense, but as protection. They are willing to pay today so that tomorrow is secure. That mindset comes from valuing stability over short-term savings. Risk management also means spreading your risk. Millionaires do not put everything in one place. They diversify their investments. They keep reserves. They avoid overextending. If one part of their financial world faces trouble, the rest remains safe. They understand that not every risk can be eliminated, but it can be reduced. And by reducing it, they create a financial life that is steady even when the world is uncertain. The psychology of protection matters too. When you know your money is safe, you think more clearly. You make better decisions. You are not driven by fear of loss. You can take calculated risks to grow because you know the foundation is protected. Without protection, fear eats at you. You hesitate. You second guess. You miss opportunities. Protection creates freedom. It gives you the courage to act boldly because the essentials are covered. Insurance is not the only tool. Millionaires practice smart habits that protect their money in daily life. They avoid unnecessary guarantees that expose them to risk. They sign contracts carefully. They keep legal documents in order. They stay informed about laws and regulations that could affect their finances. They do not take blind chances. And they do not assume that things will always go well. Hope is not their strategy. Preparation is. Smart risk management means building an emergency fund. Even with insurance, small unexpected costs can appear. A car breakdown, a job loss, or a sudden family need. Millionaires keep cash reserves so that they are never forced to sell investments or borrow at high interest. That cushion protects them from turning small problems into financial disasters. It is not only about wealth, it is about peace of mind. Consider the way millionaires view their businesses. They never build without protection. They separate personal assets from business assets. They use legal structures to limit their exposure. They plan for slow seasons, for downturns, for economic shifts. They do not assume growth will always continue. They prepare for storms even when the sky looks clear. That preparation is the reason they survive when others collapse. You can apply the same thinking in your personal life. Look at the areas where you are most exposed. Do you have health coverage strong enough to handle real emergencies? Do you have life insurance that secures your family if something unexpected happens to you? Do you have enough protection on your home, your car, your income? These are not questions to postpone. They are questions that decide whether your years of effort remain safe or vanish overnight. Millionaires know that money not protected is money already at risk. They see insurance as part of their wealth-building strategy. They also see education as a shield. They educate themselves about scams, about fraud, about the risks of poor investments. They do not sign what they do not understand. They do not chase promises that sound too good. They use logic and patience to avoid losing what they worked so hard to gain. Smart risk management also means knowing when to say no. Not every opportunity is worth the risk. Millionaires learn to evaluate carefully, to weigh the potential gain against the potential loss. They would rather miss a quick profit than expose themselves to a ruinous loss. This patience keeps them moving forward steadily, while others rise fast and fall just as fast. There is also the discipline of reviewing protection regularly. Needs change as life changes. A single person needs different coverage than a family. A small income requires different strategies than a growing business. Millionaires do not set insurance once and forget it. They review, they adjust, they upgrade as their world expands. They make sure their protection grows with their wealth. So there is never a gap that can swallow everything. The greatest advantage of protecting money is not only survival, but also the ability to build. When your foundation is strong, you can build high without fear of collapse. You can take steps that create more wealth, more opportunities, more freedom. That is why millionaires spend time and money on protection before they chase the next big win. They want to know that no matter what happens, they will never fall back to zero. Picture the calm that comes when you know your family is safe, your assets are covered, your risks are controlled. That calm changes the way you move through the world. You are no longer anxious about every small change. You are no longer one crisis away from disaster. That calm is priceless. It allows you to focus on growth, on relationships, on living fully. Millionaires value that calm, and they buy it through protection and preparation. Every dollar you earn is the result of your energy, your time, your effort. Do not allow it to be taken away by one event you could have prepared for. Protect it with intention. Manage your risks with wisdom. Build shields around your wealth so that your future is not left to chance. Millionaires think this way because they understand that wealth is not only about what you earn or save, but also about what you keep safe from loss. Number 3. Buy assets that appreciate instead of things that lose value. The way you spend money determines the future you create. Most people use their income to purchase items that immediately decline in value. Clothes wear out. Cars drop in worth the moment they leave the showroom. Gadgets become outdated in months. And entertainment costs are gone forever. The second they are enjoyed, there is nothing wrong with comfort or enjoyment. But when most of your income flows toward things that fade, you remain in the same place financially year after year. Millionaires think differently. They direct their money into assets that grow, not things that shrink. They buy with the future in mind, not only the present. An asset is something that adds to your wealth instead of draining it. Real estate that increases in value, stocks that grow with the market, businesses that generate income, intellectual property that brings royalties, even skills that raise your earning potential. These are examples of assets. Each time you place money into an asset, you give yourself the possibility of growth. Each time you place money into a liability, you accept decline. Millionaires have mastered the discipline of choosing growth. Think about two people with the same income. One spends on luxury clothes, new phones, and expensive nights out. The other directs money into shares of strong companies, small rental property, or a fund that compounds year after year. 5 years later, one has memories but no foundation, while the other has a base of wealth that is producing returns. The difference is not the income but the choices. Millionaires understand that wealth is built by directing money toward things that gain strength over time. This principle also trains your mind to think long-term. When you buy assets, you are saying to yourself, my future matters more than this moment. That shift in thinking builds patience, discipline, and vision. It makes you evaluate purchases differently. Before spending, you begin asking, will this add value to my life tomorrow? Or will it disappear the moment I buy it? That one question separates those who build lasting wealth from those who stay trapped in endless spending cycles. Buying assets also creates streams of income. A property can give you rent every month. A portfolio of stocks can provide dividends. A business can pay you even while you are not working. Skills can help you earn more for the rest of your life. These streams free you from depending only on one paycheck. Millionaires understand that every asset has the potential to work for them, while liabilities always demand more from them. That is why they carefully choose where their money goes. It is not about denying yourself completely. It is about balance tilted toward growth. Millionaires still enjoy life, but they never sacrifice their future for temporary pleasure. They know that a car loses value the second it is purchased, so they may choose a reliable one instead of the flash. They know that certain luxury items only impress for a short while, so they avoid pouring too much into them. Their focus remains on things that expand their wealth and secure their independence. Consider how different your life becomes when you accumulate appreciating assets. Each month, instead of only paying bills, you see investments producing returns. Instead of money leaving you, money is coming back. That changes your sense of control. It reduces stress. It creates options. And it gives you freedom to make decisions without fear. Millionaires do not work only for income. They work to buy assets that will keep producing long after they stop working. There is also an educational side to buying assets. The more you engage with investments, the more you learn about markets, property values, business opportunities, and financial planning. This knowledge multiplies your ability to grow wealth. Millionaires become students of money because they spend their lives choosing assets. Each choice teaches them something. Each lesson sharpens their understanding. Over time, their knowledge becomes as valuable as the assets themselves. Another truth is that assets give you leverage. A property can be used to borrow and expand further. A strong business can open doors to partnerships. A portfolio can provide collateral for new opportunities. Liabilities give you nothing but expenses, but assets create possibilities. Millionaires love assets because assets build momentum. Once momentum starts, wealth multiplies faster than most people imagine. You also gain confidence when your life is backed by appreciating assets. You feel secure knowing your decisions in the past are paying off today. That security gives you the courage to take bold steps, like starting a business, traveling, or pursuing dreams, without the constant worry of financial collapse. This confidence cannot be bought with consumption. It can only be earned by building a base of growing assets. Millionaires often start small. They may buy a modest piece of land, a small number of shares, or a single rental property. Over time, those small steps compound. The land rises in value, the shares grow, the property generates income, and soon, they have enough to expand into larger ventures. Many people think wealth requires a huge beginning, but it is often built through small, consistent asset purchases. Choosing assets also builds discipline in avoiding financial traps. Credit card debt for luxury items, loans for cars, and spending on status symbols become less appealing when you understand how much they cost you in the long run. Millionaires value their future too much to fall into those traps. They may delay gratification, but in exchange they gain financial independence. Every time you decide between an asset and a liability, you are shaping your future. Millionaires always lean toward the option that strengthens their position tomorrow. That is why they grow wealth steadily. They are not immune to temptation, but their vision keeps them grounded. They ask, does this purchase move me forward, or does it hold me back? That clarity guides their actions. The powerful thing about assets is that they eventually create freedom of choice. When your investments generate enough to cover your needs, you are free to design your life differently. You can choose to work or not, to travel or stay, to pursue passions without fear of bills. That level of freedom does not come from liabilities. It comes only from assets. Millionaires live with this awareness every day, and it is what drives their decisions. When you look at your spending habits, ask yourself, how much of your money is going toward things that vanish, and how much is going toward things that grow? Shift that balance step by step. Even small percentages redirected to appreciating assets can transform your financial path over time. Millionaires do this naturally because they train themselves to think about tomorrow more than today. Appreciating assets are not just financial tools. They are life tools. They protect your future, create opportunities, teach discipline, and build confidence. They work silently in the background while you focus on living your life. And each year they remind you that the decisions you made to buy growth instead of decline were the choices that built the foundation of your independence. Number 4. Create a clear budget and stick to it daily. Money flows where attention goes, and if you do not tell your money where to go, it disappears without explanation. A budget is not a punishment. It is a map. It shows you where your income should be directed and where it must not go. Without a budget, your money controls you. With a budget, you control your money. Millionaires understand this truth, and that is why they always know what comes in, what goes out, and where it is going next. They do not rely on guesswork. They rely on structure. A clear budget starts with awareness. You have to know exactly how much you earn and exactly how much you spend. Many people avoid this step because they are afraid of what they will see. They do not want to face the reality of their spending habits. But the truth is the first step to freedom. Millionaires face the numbers directly. They write them down. They track them carefully. And they make decisions based on reality, not hope. This honesty with money is what sets them apart. Once you know your numbers, the next step is direction. A budget gives every dollar a role. Some dollars are for essentials like housing, food, and bills. Some are for growth through savings and investments. Some are for enjoyment. But even enjoyment is controlled by limits. When money has no role, it is wasted. When money has a purpose, it builds the future. Millionaires know that if they do not decide, someone else will. Stores, advertisements, friends, habits. A budget protects them from losing their wealth to impulse. The discipline is not only in making a budget, but in living it daily. Anyone can create a plan once. Few people follow it consistently. Millionaires understand that daily discipline makes the difference. They do not drift through the week, hoping it balances out at the end. They track as they go, They review their spending each day, not just once a month. This constant awareness keeps them sharp and keeps their goals alive in their minds. A clear budget also exposes waste. You begin to notice the small leaks that drain your income. Daily coffee runs, unused subscriptions, unnecessary fees, impulse purchases, they add up to thousands over time. By tracking daily, you catch these leaks early and redirect that money towards something meaningful. Millionaires are not cheap. They are intentional. They would rather cut waste than cut their future short. Sticking to a budget also builds character. It forces you to choose between wants and needs. It teaches patience. It shows you the value of saying no today for something better tomorrow. Millionaires strengthen their discipline through this process. They learn to resist unnecessary spending, and that resistance gives them freedom to spend boldly on things that truly matter. A person without a budget spends blindly. A person with a budget spends with confidence. The impact of a clear budget goes beyond money. It affects your emotion. When you know exactly where you stand financially, stress decreases. Uncertainty is replaced with clarity. You no longer feel lost when bills arrive because you already planned for them. You no longer fear running out at the end of the month because you know where every dollar is going. That calm confidence is priceless, and it only comes from daily budgeting. Budgeting also improves relationships. Many families fight over money not because they lack income, but because they lack a plan. Arguments arise from confusion and surprise expense. A clear budget brings everyone on the same page. It creates transparency and teamwork. Millionaires know this, and they often involve their families in financial planning. This not only prevents conflict, but also teaches responsibility to the next generation. Another advantage of budgeting daily is that it allows adjustments. Life changes, expenses rise, incomes shift, emergencies appear. A daily habit of tracking and sticking to your budget gives you flexibility. You notice changes quickly and adapt before they grow into problems. Millionaires review their budgets often, not because they are obsessed, but because they want control. Control creates stability, and stability is the ground on which wealth is built. Many people think a budget limits their freedom, but in reality it expands it. When you know exactly where your money is going, you feel free to make choices. You can take a vacation without guilt because it was in the plan. You can invest confidently because you know the bills are covered. Freedom is not the absence of a plan. It is the result of one. Millionaires live with this freedom every day because they respect the structure of their budget. Creating a clear budget is also a way of telling yourself what matters. If you look at your budget and see that all your money is going to things that add no value, it forces you to rethink. It makes you ask what truly matters in your life. Millionaires align their budgets with their values. If they value growth, they allocate more to investments. If they value family, they plan for experiences together. Their budget reflects their priorities, not random spending habits. Daily budgeting also creates momentum. Each day you stick to your plan, you feel stronger. Each day you see progress towards savings or debt reduction. Your motivation grows. Small daily wins add up to big victories over time. Millionaires thrive on this momentum. They know that consistency over time is more powerful than intensity once in a while. Think of the opportunities a clear budget creates. With control over your money, you can save for a business, invest in education, or prepare for a home. Without control, opportunities pass you by because you are always catching up on past mistakes. Millionaires seize opportunities because they are ready when they appear. Their readiness comes from discipline, and their discipline comes from the habit of budgeting daily. The discipline of sticking to a budget is also about self-respect. When you follow the plan you created, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted with responsibility. That trust in yourself builds confidence, and confidence is essential for bigger financial moves. Millionaires respect themselves enough to keep their commitments, and one of their strongest commitments is to their budget. Technology has made budgeting easier than ever. There are tools and apps that track spending automatically, send reminders, and show progress. But tools alone do not create discipline. The daily choice to follow through does. Millionaires may use these tools, but they rely more on their mindset than on technology. The tool helps, but the will is what makes it work. Sticking to a budget daily may sound strict, but once it becomes a habit, it feels natural. It becomes part of your routine, like eating or exercising. It no longer feels like a burden. Instead, it feels like control. Millionaires reach this point by practicing consistently until it becomes second nature. Your future depends on the way you manage your money today. A clear budget shows you the road ahead and helps you walk it with confidence. Sticking to it daily keeps you steady, no matter what comes. This is how ordinary income turns into extraordinary results. Millionaires prove it through their lives. They do not wander financially. They move with purpose, guided by their daily budget. Number 5. Negotiate every deal to save and grow more money. Negotiation is one of the most powerful tools millionaires use to keep their wealth growing. They never take the first price as the final price. They understand that everything in life is negotiable. Whether it is a house, a car, a contract, a salary, or even everyday purchases. The difference between paying full price and negotiating a better deal may not look huge in the moment. But over years and decades, those small savings and better terms compound into wealth. Negotiating is not about being greedy or aggressive. It is about being smart. Millionaires know that every dollar saved is a dollar that can be redirected toward investments, opportunities, or growth. They approach each deal with patience and preparation. They do not rush into agreement. They do their research. They know the market value, and they enter every conversation with confidence. When you negotiate from a place of knowledge, you hold power. Many people fear negotiation because they feel uncomfortable asking for a better price. They worry about offending the other person or being rejected. But millionaires embrace negotiation as a normal part of business. They see it as a skill to practice, not a conflict to avoid. The more they negotiate, the sharper they become, and the more savings they collect over time. They know that if you never ask, you never get. Negotiating also extends beyond money. It includes terms, conditions, and timelines. For example, when millionaires buy real estate, they do not only look at the purchase price. They negotiate closing costs, maintenance, responsibilities, interest rates, and repayment schedules. Every detail of the deal matters. The money saved on one condition could be reinvested to generate even greater return. Millionaires see negotiations as opportunities to protect their wealth from hidden costs and to create long-term advantages. When it comes to careers, negotiation plays a huge role. Millionaires often started by negotiating their salaries, benefits, and opportunities for growth. Accepting the first offer limits your future income. Negotiating sets a higher foundation, which compounds across promotions and raises. Millionaires understand that the courage to negotiate at the beginning can change the course of their financial future. Even in business partnerships, negotiation is key. Contracts define how profits are shared, how risks are managed, and how responsibilities are divided. Millionaires never sign blindly. They read carefully, ask questions, and push for terms that serve their goal. They do not settle for what is convenient in the moment, because they know that a deal signed today can impact them for years. The ability to negotiate fairly and firmly allows them to protect their interests and secure growth. Negotiation also builds confidence. Every time you succeed in getting better terms, you reinforce the belief that you can create favorable outcomes. This confidence carries over into other areas of life. Millionaires become stronger decision makers because they practice negotiation regularly. They are not intimidated by sellers, companies, or competitors. They know their worth, and they know the value of their money. Practicing negotiation requires preparation. Millionaires do not just walk into deals hoping for the best. They gather information. They compare prices. They study the competition. They look at what others have paid. They prepare counteroffers. When they speak, they do so with facts, not guesses. This preparation gives them the edge in any discussion. Sellers and partners respect them because they demonstrate seriousness and knowledge. Negotiation is also about timing. Millionaires know when to push and when to wait. Sometimes the best deal comes by being patient and not rushing into the first option. They let the other side make the first move and reveal their position. They are not afraid to walk away if the terms are not right. This willingness to walk away gives them strength, because they are not desperate. Desperation weakens negotiation, but patience strengthens it. Millionaires also understand that negotiation is about relationship. They do not treat it as a fight, but as a conversation. They aim for win-win outcomes where both sides feel satisfied. This approach keeps doors open for future opportunities. Burning bridges over one deal may cost far more in the long run. Millionaires build trust while negotiating, and that trust often leads to even better deals down the line. Even small negotiations make a big difference. For example, reducing interest rates on loans, lowering monthly bills by asking for discounts, or getting better service terms all add up. Millionaires pay attention to these details. They know that wasted money in small areas is wasted potential for growth. By negotiating even in everyday life, they set a standard for themselves. Never accept less value than you deserve. Negotiating is also about mindset. Millionaires approach deals with the belief that there is always room for improvement. They do not settle quickly. They challenge terms respectfully, but firmly. They refuse to believe that this is the best we can do unless they test it themselves. That mindset keeps them alert to opportunities others miss. Some people think negotiation is only for business professionals, but it is not. Millionaires know it applies everywhere, from buying furniture to hiring services, from travel bookings to major investments. Negotiation plays a role. Those who practice it consistently save more money and grow their wealth faster. Millionaires practice this skill until it becomes natural. They are always ready to ask, "Can we do better than this?" The art of negotiation also requires listening. Millionaires listen carefully to the other side to understand what they value. By knowing what the other party wants, they can make trade-offs that work in their favor without losing anything important. For example, if a seller values quick payment, millionaires may offer faster payment in exchange for a lower price. This way, both sides win, but the millionaire keeps more money to grow. Negotiation is not just about cutting costs. It is also about creating opportunities to earn more. For instance, negotiating profit-sharing percentages, royalties, or partnership structures can multiply income over time. Millionaires are always alert to these possibilities. They use negotiation not only to protect money but to expand. Learning to negotiate takes practice, and millionaires know this. They treat every deal as training for the next one. Even if they do not get everything they want, they gain experience that sharpens their skills. Over time, this practice compounds into mastery. The more deals they negotiate, the more natural it becomes, and the greater their financial advantage grows. Millionaires also understand that emotions must be controlled in negotiations. Anger, impatience, or desperation can ruin a deal. They keep their composure, stay calm, and focus on facts. They separate emotions from decisions. This calmness earns respect and often helps them get what they want. Negotiation is one of the quiet secrets of wealth. It is not flashy, and it is not often talked about, but it is one of the most consistent habits among the wealthy. They never stop sharpening this skill. They know that saving money and securing better terms is as important as earning money. Every deal is a chance to protect wealth and multiply it. Millionaires never waste these chances because they know that negotiation is not optional. It is essential. Number 6, invest early and let compound growth work for you. One of the most important lessons millionaires understand is that time is more valuable than money when it comes to investing. The earlier you begin, the more powerful your results will be. Starting early gives your money more years to grow, more cycles to expand, and more opportunities to multiply. Many people wait until they feel comfortable or until they think they are earning enough. But millionaires know that waiting costs far more than starting small. Even modest investments can grow into significant wealth if they are given time to work. When you invest early, you give compound growth the chance to do the heavy lifting for you. Every year, your money not only earns returns, but those returns also start earning returns of their own. This process builds layer upon layer of growth that accelerates with time. The longer you delay, the fewer layers you build, and the weaker the growth becomes. Millionaires take advantage of this principle by beginning as soon as possible, even if their first contributions are small. Millionaires often treat early investing as a discipline, not just a choice. They know that consistent contributions build momentum. They develop the habit of setting aside money for investments regularly. By treating it as a non-negotiable part of their lives, they secure their financial future long before they reach the stage of high income. The habit matters more than the amount. Because once the system is in place, the money will naturally grow larger over time. People who delay investing often underestimate how much they are losing by waiting. They think saving later will make up for lost years. But the truth is that time lost can never be recovered. Millionaires avoid this mistake. They understand that every year not invested is wealth lost forever. They prefer to let time work in their favor rather than against them. Investing early also creates peace of mind. Millionaires feel secure knowing their money is working while they sleep, while they travel, while they focus on their careers, and while they build businesses. They do not carry the stress of constantly trying to catch up, because they started early enough to let compounding ease the burden. This sense of financial security gives them the freedom to make choices without fear. Another reason millionaires invest early is because early money has more room to recover. Markets rise and fall, but time smooths out the ups and downs. By starting early, they can ride out downturns without panic, because they know growth will resume over decades. The longer horizon makes them more patient and less emotional with their investments. This patience often leads to stronger results because they do not make impulsive moves out of fear. Millionaires also know that starting early creates habits that shape the rest of life. When you begin young, you train yourself to value long-term thinking. You resist the urge to spend everything on short-term pleasures. You learn discipline, responsibility, and vision. These qualities not only grow your money, but also influence the way you approach goals, work, and relationships. Starting early builds the mindset of wealth, as much as the reality of it. Consistency is another key. Millionaires do not just invest once and stop. They contribute regularly, month after month, year after year. Each contribution adds fuel to the compounding process. Skipping years weakens the effect, but steady contributions magnify it. They set up systems to make sure the investing happens automatically, so discipline is built into their financial lives. Millionaires also diversify early. They do not put all their money in one place. They spread it across different investments, stocks, businesses, real estate, and other assets, so that risks are reduced and opportunities are increased. By starting early with diversification, they protect themselves from major losses and position themselves for consistent growth across multiple areas. When you invest early, you also gain experience early. Millionaires know that mistakes will happen, but making them early when the stakes are smaller is far better than making them later when larger sums are involved. Early investing teaches lessons about patience, research, risk management, and strategy. These lessons compound just like the money does, preparing them for even bigger opportunities in the future. Millionaires view investing as planting seeds. Every contribution is a seed that will grow into something larger. By planting early, they allow entire forests to grow over their lifetime. They do not wait for the perfect moment, because they know the perfect moment does not exist. The right moment is always now. And the earlier they act, the better their results. Another powerful benefit of early investing is that it reduces pressure later in life. Millionaires who invested early do not have to take extreme risks or chase high returns when they are older. Their wealth has already been built steadily over time. They can enjoy stability and freedom while others scramble to make up for lost years. Early investing gives them choices that late starters often do not have. Millionaires also teach their children to invest early. They know that passing down knowledge is as important as passing down money. By teaching the next generation the value of early investing, they ensure that the legacy of wealth continues. The younger someone learns to invest, the greater their advantage becomes. Millionaires turn this into a family principle, ensuring that financial growth extends beyond themselves. They also understand that compounding works best with patience and discipline. Many people quit too soon, pulling money out before compounding has had time to work. Millionaires resist that temptation. They let time do the work, staying consistent and committed. They understand that impatience is the enemy of compounding. They know the rewards are worth the wait. Investing early also builds confidence in the future. Millionaires do not fear retirement, unexpected expenses, or economic shifts the way others do. They have a financial foundation strong enough to carry them. This security gives them the courage to take risks in other areas of life, such as starting a business or pursuing personal passions. Early investing creates not just wealth, but freedom. Millionaires often remind themselves that no amount is too small to start with. The key is to begin. Many people make the mistake of waiting until they have large sums to invest. Millionaires know that starting small is better than waiting. The habit is more valuable than the amount in the beginning. As income grows, contributions grow too. But the system is already in place. Another reason early investing works is that it shifts your focus from spending to building. Millionaires who start early develop the discipline to prioritize growth over consumption. This mindset keeps them from wasting money on things that bring only short-term satisfaction. Instead, they commit to choices that expand their future options. Millionaires also surround themselves with information. Starting early gives them more time to study markets, strategies, and trends. They become students of wealth building. By the time they reach midlife, they have decades of experience and knowledge that set them apart. Their decisions are sharper, their risks are calculated, and their results are stronger. They understand that wealth is not built in one day but over many years of consistent action. Early investing aligns perfectly with this truth. It gives the years time to accumulate results. Millionaires embrace this steady process rather than chasing shortcuts. They trust in the system of compounding and allow it to work for them. When they look back later in life, millionaires see the power of their early choice. They realize that the discipline to invest early gave them advantages far beyond money. It gave them peace of mind, confidence, freedom, and the ability to provide for their families and community. Starting early was not just a financial decision. It was a life decision that shaped their future in every way. Number 7. Avoid lifestyle inflation, no matter how much you earn. One of the biggest reasons many people fail to build wealth is not because they never earn enough, but because every time they earn more, they spend more. The habit of raising expenses to match income destroys financial progress. Millionaires understand this trap, and they avoid it carefully. They know that when your income increases, your future can grow only if your spending does not increase at the same pace. If you keep chasing bigger houses, newer cars, fancier vacations, and more luxuries every time your paycheck rises, you will always stay at the same financial level, no matter how much you earn. Millionaires train themselves to separate wants from needs. They understand that comfort is different from excess. Having more money does not mean you have to spend it all. They choose to keep living at a level below their income. When they get a raise, a bonus, or business profits, they direct that money toward investments and growth, not toward lifestyle upgrades. They may reward themselves in small ways, but they never allow temporary pleasures to consume long-term security. The temptation of lifestyle inflation is strong because society rewards appearances. Many people want to look successful rather than be successful. They buy expensive items to show others they are doing well. But in reality, those purchases drain the resources that could have built lasting wealth. Millionaires resist this pressure. They do not live to impress others. They live to secure freedom and stability for themselves and their families. Avoiding lifestyle inflation also requires discipline in everyday decisions. Millionaires do not rush to upgrade every part of their life. They may keep driving the same car for years, even when they can afford a new one. They may stay in a comfortable home instead of stretching themselves into a larger one just for status. They focus on the value of purchases, not the image they project. This discipline frees up large amounts of money to put into savings and investments. The danger of lifestyle inflation is that it creates dependency. Once you raise your lifestyle, it becomes harder to go back. Your new expenses feel like necessities, and you feel trapped into earning enough to maintain them. Millionaires avoid this trap by keeping their lifestyle steady, even as their income grows. By doing so, they stay flexible. They are not tied down by unnecessary obligations. If opportunities come, they can take risks because their expenses are under control. Millionaires also recognize that happiness does not come from constant upgrades. A bigger house may bring more space, but it also brings more maintenance and higher bills. A newer car may feel exciting, but the excitement fades quickly. True satisfaction comes from freedom, not from possessions. Millionaires choose financial independence over endless consumption. They understand that peace of mind is worth more than luxury that fades. Avoiding lifestyle inflation does not mean living without joy. It means being intentional about where your money goes. Millionaires still enjoy life. They travel, they experience, They buy what they truly value, but they do it within limits that still allow them to grow wealth. They balance enjoyment today with security tomorrow. That balance is what keeps their wealth intact. Many people think discipline with money is a sacrifice, but millionaires see it differently. They see it as control. By not inflating their lifestyle, they are in charge of their money instead of being controlled by it. They decide how to live, rather than letting desires or trends dictate their spending. That control builds confidence and reduces stress. Millionaires also teach their children the importance of avoiding lifestyle inflation. They know that wealth can vanish if the next generation falls into the habit of overspending. They model simple living and wise choices, showing that success is not measured by the size of the car in the driveway, but by the strength of financial foundations. Avoiding lifestyle inflation also protects millionaires from debt. Many people fall into debt not because they lack income, but because they keep upgrading faster than their income grows. They borrow to maintain appearances, and the debt eats away at their future. Millionaires refuse to let debt control them. They keep their expenses low enough that debt is unnecessary. This keeps their resources free for opportunities instead of obligations. The discipline of avoiding lifestyle inflation also amplifies the power of investing. If income increases and expenses stay steady, the gap between the two can be directed toward investments. That gap grows larger with each raise, each bonus, each success. Over time, this accelerating investment power creates massive wealth. Millionaires rely on this principle because it allows them to build wealth much faster than someone who spends everything they earn. Resisting lifestyle inflation is also a test of patience. Millionaires understand that rewards can come later, once wealth is secure. They are willing to delay unnecessary upgrades until their financial foundation is unshakable. They focus on building assets first, and once those assets produce income, they can enjoy luxuries without risk. By waiting, they ensure that enjoyment does not come at the cost of security. Millionaires often start modestly, even when they could afford more. They create habits of simplicity from the beginning. This mindset protects them from falling into the trap of always needing more. They learn to appreciate what they have, instead of constantly chasing what they do. That appreciation keeps them grounded and keeps their wealth intact. Another advantage of avoiding lifestyle inflation is freedom from pressure at work. Many people are trapped in jobs they dislike because they need the income to sustain their inflated lifestyle. Millionaires who avoid lifestyle inflation have choices. They can step back, change direction, or take risks without fear. Their lower expenses give them the power to decide how to use their time and energy. Millionaires also recognize that lifestyle inflation is often driven by comparison. People see what others buy and feel the need to keep up. Millionaires step away from this game. They measure success by personal goals, not by external competition. By refusing to compare, they free themselves from the endless race of consumption. They also understand that true wealth is measured in freedom, not possessions. You can drive a simple car and still be rich if you have no debt and a strong portfolio of assets. You can live in a modest house and still be wealthy if your investments cover your needs. Millionaires value financial independence above all else, and avoiding lifestyle inflation is one of the strongest ways to reach it. When income grows, millionaires focus on increasing savings and investments, not expense. They celebrate progress by expanding their future, not by buying more things. They know that the satisfaction of building wealth lasts far longer than the short-lived thrill of purchases. This mindset allows them to grow steadily, while others stay stuck in the cycle of spend and earn. Millionaires use self-control as their advantage. They know that resisting lifestyle inflation requires discipline, but discipline is what separates those who build wealth from those who only earn it. By holding back on unnecessary spending, they give themselves the resources to pursue greater opportunities. That self-control creates long-term abundance. Avoiding lifestyle inflation is not about denial. It is about choice. Millionaires choose freedom, growth, and stability over constant upgrades. They understand that the greatest luxury is the ability to live without financial fear. By keeping their lifestyle below their means, they create the space for wealth to grow. Every extra dollar not spent is a dollar that can work for them, building the kind of life that no purchase can buy. Number 8. Build strong networks that open doors to new wealth. Wealth is rarely created in isolation. Connections and relationships have always played a central role in financial growth. Millionaires understand that who you know can influence opportunities far more than what you know alone. Building a strong network is not about collecting names or contacts. It is about cultivating meaningful relationships with people who share values, drive, and vision. Every conversation, every connection, every interaction can lead to opportunities that would otherwise be invisible. Strong networks provide access to information. Millionaires constantly learn from the experiences of others. They gain insights about markets, investments, and industries that they could not have discovered on their own. These connections act as a bridge to knowledge and guidance, helping them make better decisions faster. When someone in your network has faced a challenge before, you benefit from their lessons, avoiding mistakes that could cost years of progress. Networks also provide opportunities for collaboration. Millionaires often enter partnerships, business ventures, or joint investments through trusted connections. Working with the right people can multiply success in ways impossible to achieve alone. Every successful deal or venture they undertake is often the result of relationships cultivated over years. Networking is the seed that creates these possibilities. Relationships open doors to capital. When you know the right people, raising funds for business or investment projects becomes easier. Millionaires often secure financing, investors, or mentors because of the trust and credibility built through their network. Without these relationships, even the best ideas may struggle to get off the ground. Networking allows them to leverage not only money but also knowledge and resources. A strong network also provides support and accountability. Millionaires surround themselves with people who challenge them to grow, who provide honest feedback, and who push them to think bigger. They avoid toxic relationships that encourage complacency. Being in the right environment reinforces productive habits and keeps their goals in focus. People who aspire to build wealth benefit from being around others who share the same ambition. Networking is not just about receiving, it is also about giving. Millionaires contribute value to their connections. They share knowledge, offer support, and help others succeed. This creates trust and strengthens bonds. People naturally want to reciprocate, and over time, these relationships become mutually beneficial. The network becomes a living system of opportunities, knowledge, and collaboration. Building strong networks requires intentional effort. Millionaires attend events, join professional groups, and actively seek out mentors. They invest time in nurturing relationships, remembering names, following up, and maintaining contact. A simple message or gesture can strengthen a relationship and keep doors open for future opportunity. Connections need consistency and care, not just convenience. A strong network provides perspective. By interacting with diverse individuals, millionaires gain insights into trends, industries, and strategies beyond their immediate fields. Exposure to different experiences and ideas allows them to innovate and adapt. These perspectives are invaluable when evaluating new ventures or making strategic decisions. Connections expand their thinking and reveal possibilities they would not have considered alone. Networking also builds credibility. Being associated with respected, successful individuals enhances your own reputation. Millionaires understand that reputation is a form of wealth. When you are trusted and respected within your network, people are more willing to collaborate, share opportunities, and support your initiatives. This credibility opens doors that are closed to those without strong connections. Mentorship is a crucial component of networking. Millionaires often seek guidance from experienced individuals who have already achieved what they aim for. Mentors provide advice, share mistakes, and accelerate learning. A mentor's perspective can prevent costly errors and guide strategic decisions that significantly impact long-term wealth. Having mentors is a deliberate way to leverage other people's knowledge to fast-track success. Networks provide access to talent. Millionaires surround themselves with people who are skilled, motivated, and trustworthy. When starting a business or expanding investments, having access to reliable talent can make the difference between success and failure. A strong network acts as a pool of collaborators, advisors, and employees who are already vetted through relationships. This saves time, reduces risk, and increases efficiency. Social skills play a vital role in building networks. Millionaires invest in communication, empathy, and relationship-building skills. They listen actively, understand motivations, and connect genuinely. Relationships built on authenticity, are stronger and longer lasting. People can sense when someone is self-serving versus genuinely interested in creating value together. Authenticity multiplies the opportunities that networks can provide. Networking also exposes you to opportunities you could not find alone. Millionaires often hear about deals, investments, or projects before they are public. Insider knowledge, connections, and introductions allow them to act early, gaining advantage over others. The network acts as a multiplier for opportunity, not just a collection of names. Strong networks create resilience. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable in life and business. Having a reliable network provides support during tough times. Mentors, peers, and collaborators can offer solutions, advice, or even resources to navigate obstacles. Millionaires leverage their networks not only for growth, but also for stability and guidance when difficulties arise. Relationships also foster accountability. Millionaires often share goals with trusted individuals who help them stay on track. Being part of a network that expects performance and growth motivates them to maintain high standards. The encouragement and challenge from peers push them to execute plans and achieve objectives consistently. Building networks is a long-term investment. Millionaires know that relationships cannot be rushed or forced. They develop trust over time through repeated interactions and shared value. Patience and consistency are key. Every interaction, no matter how small, contributes to the strength of the network. Over years, these connections can lead to opportunities that transform wealth and career paths. Networking also teaches negotiation and influence. Interacting with diverse individuals hones the ability to communicate effectively, understand needs, and find solutions that satisfy all parties. Millionaires use these skills to create deals, partnerships, and collaborations that generate wealth. Networking is not just about making friends. It is about building mutually beneficial relationships that create tangible results. Being intentional about networks ensures that connections align with your goal. Millionaires choose to spend time with people who are ambitious, knowledgeable, and driven. They avoid relationships that drain energy or provide no value. By curating their network carefully, they maximize the benefit each relationship can bring. Quality always matters more than quantity. Networks can also lead to serendipity. Chance encounters often become life-changing connections. Millionaires put themselves in environments where opportunities for meaningful interactions are frequent. Conferences, events, and professional communities become arenas where potential partnerships, mentorships, and deals can emerge naturally. Every interaction is treated as an opportunity to learn or grow. Strong networks also provide credibility when pursuing new ventures. If you are introduced to a client, investor, or partner through a trusted connection, your chances of success increase dramatically. The trust already established within the network transfers, making it easier to gain confidence and approval. Millionaires leverage this advantage to accelerate their growth. In essence, networking is a force multiplier for wealth. The right people amplify opportunities, provide insights, offer guidance, and support initiatives. Millionaires understand that money alone is not enough. Connections, credibility, and collaboration are equally essential. They invest in relationships as strategically as they invest in assets. Maintaining strong networks requires ongoing effort. Millionaires stay in touch, check in regularly, and offer help without expecting immediate returns. This consistency strengthens bonds over time. Relationships are nurtured, not used. They know that trust built over years pays off with opportunities, support, and collaboration that would otherwise be impossible. By surrounding themselves with people who are successful, ethical, and driven, millionaires create an environment that reinforces their goal. They absorb habits, strategies, and insights from their network. This exposure accelerates their learning and opens doors to wealth that could not be accessed alone. Networking is not a task. It is a lifestyle that continuously shapes their path to financial growth. Number 9. Diversifying investments to secure financial freedom and stability. Diversification is one of the most important strategies millionaires use to protect their wealth and ensure consistent growth. Putting all your money into a single investment is risky. Markets fluctuate. Businesses fail, and unexpected events can wipe out entire fortunes if everything is concentrated in one place. Millionaires understand that spreading investments across different assets, industries, and regions reduces risk while increasing the potential for returns. Diversification is not about avoiding risk entirely. It is about managing it intelligently to maintain stability and security. A diversified portfolio allows wealth to grow steadily, even when some investments underperform. Millionaires know that not every opportunity will succeed. Some investments will yield high returns, others may break even, and a few may even decline in value. By having multiple streams of investment, the losses in one area are balanced by gains in another. This approach prevents catastrophic financial setbacks and keeps progress moving forward. Stability comes from balance, and millionaires are masters at creating it. Diversification also allows access to different types of income. Some investments generate cash flow immediately, such as rental properties or dividend-paying stock. Others grow in value over time, like equities, real estate, or intellectual property. Millionaires balance short-term income with long-term growth, ensuring that their money works in multiple ways simultaneously. They never rely on a single source of wealth, because they understand that reliance creates vulnerability. Investing across different asset classes also protects against economic cycles. Some industries thrive when the economy is booming, while others perform better in recession. Millionaires recognize the patterns and spread their investments accordingly. By doing so, they create a financial foundation that can withstand changes in the market and remain strong regardless of economic conditions. They do not allow a downturn in one sector to threaten their entire portfolio. Geographical diversification is another key factor. Millionaires often invest in different regions or countries. By spreading wealth internationally, they reduce exposure to localized risks, such as political instability, currency fluctuations, or regulatory change. This approach ensures that a problem in one market does not compromise overall wealth. Global diversification broadens opportunities while reducing the dependence on a single economy or market condition. Diversification also includes varying investment strategies. Millionaires combine conservative, moderate, and aggressive approaches, depending on their risk tolerance and goals. They may balance safe government bonds with high-growth stocks, real estate, or business venture. This mix allows them to capture upside potential while mitigating the chance of severe losses. It creates a portfolio that is resilient, adaptable, and positioned for long-term success. Diversifying investments also gives freedom and flexibility. Millionaires can choose to liquidate one asset without affecting their entire financial structure. If one investment needs attention, the others continue to generate returns. This flexibility is crucial in times of emergency or when an unexpected opportunity arises. It allows them to respond quickly and strategically without jeopardizing stability. Another reason millionaires diversify is to take advantage of compound growth across multiple areas. Even if one investment grows slowly, another may grow fast. The combined growth compounds over time, creating significant wealth. By diversifying early and consistently, they maximize the power of compounding, ensuring that their money works efficiently across different sectors and assets. Diversification also provides peace of mind. Millionaires do not live in constant fear of losing everything. They know that their wealth is protected because it is spread intelligently. This confidence allows them to make decisions with clarity and purpose. They are not paralyzed by risk. They are empowered by security. Knowing that no single event can ruin their finances gives them the courage to explore new opportunities. Diversification requires ongoing research and management. Millionaires monitor their investments regularly and adjust allocations as needed. They study markets, trends, and industries to ensure balance is maintained. This proactive approach prevents concentration risk from creeping in over time. They understand that diversification is not a one-time action, but a continuous process of evaluation and adjustment. It is also important to diversify across time horizons. Millionaires combine short-term, medium-term, and long-term investments. Short-term investments provide liquidity and immediate access to cash. Medium-term investments grow steadily, and long-term investments maximize compounding. This temporal diversification ensures that money is available when needed, while also working to grow over decades. Diversification extends to skills and personal ventures as well. Millionaires often invest in businesses, intellectual property, and personal development, alongside traditional financial assets. By expanding their resources in multiple dimensions, they create resilience and multiple paths to financial growth. Money alone is not enough. Skills, knowledge, and opportunities are equally valuable assets. Millionaires avoid overconcentration by setting limits. They never put a disproportionate amount of money into a single stock, property, or business. By capping exposure, they ensure that a poor outcome in one area does not derail overall progress. This disciplined approach to risk management separates them from those who chase high returns without protecting themselves. Diversification also encourages creativity and opportunity recognition. When investments are spread across industries, markets, and sectors, millionaires are exposed to more possibilities. They discover emerging trends, innovative business models, and undervalued assets. Exposure to multiple areas broadens thinking and opens doors to wealth that a narrow focus would miss. They also understand that diversification is about control, not just variety. Simply owning multiple assets does not guarantee safety. Millionaires actively manage their portfolio, selecting investments with different risk profiles, correlations, and growth potentials. They continuously evaluate how each component contributes to stability and wealth creation. This thoughtful approach transforms diversification from a passive strategy into a powerful tool for financial freedom. Diversifying investments also prevents emotional decision-making. When all wealth is concentrated in one asset, fear and greed can drive poor choices. Millionaires, by spreading their investments, reduce the emotional impact of market swings. They can make rational decisions rather than impulsive reactions, because the overall risk is managed intelligently. Diversification is also a strategy for legacy building. Millionaires aim to create wealth that lasts across generations. By spreading investments, they ensure that assets are resilient and can survive market volatility, economic shifts, and unexpected events. This long-term approach allows them to pass on security, opportunities, and financial freedom to their families. In essence, diversification is about balance, resilience, and strategic growth. Millionaires view it as essential to wealth creation, not optional. By spreading investments across assets, sectors, regions, and time horizons, they protect themselves from risk while maximizing potential return. Diversification allows them to act boldly, plan confidently, and maintain stability, ensuring that their financial future is secure and capable of withstanding challenges and seizing opportunities over the long term. Number 10. Teach your family money principles to protect your legacy. Wealth is not just about earning and saving. It is about passing knowledge and values to the next generation. Millionaires understand that without proper guidance, even vast fortunes can disappear in a single generation. Teaching family members the principles of money ensures that your hard-earned wealth is preserved and grows rather than being squandered. This responsibility begins with education, discipline, and modeling the behaviors that created success. Children, spouses, and extended family must learn how to handle money wisely to continue the legacy. Teaching money principles starts with instilling the value of earning. Millionaires ensure their families understand that wealth comes from effort, skill, and smart decisions. They avoid giving money without context or purpose. Children learn that financial success is the result of work, strategy, and patience, not luck or entitlement. This understanding builds a foundation for responsible financial behavior in the future. Budgeting is another core principle taught in wealthy families. Millionaires show their family members how to track income, control expenses, and allocate money to savings and investment. They make sure that everyone understands the importance of living below their means, avoiding debt, and prioritizing long-term financial stability over short-term gratification. Families that practice budgeting together develop habits that last a lifetime and prevent careless spending that could erode wealth. Investing knowledge is also shared. Millionaires do not just invest for themselves, they teach family members how assets grow over time, the difference between appreciating and depreciating investments, and the power of compound growth. They explain how to balance risk and reward, how diversification works, and why consistent contributions matter. By understanding these concepts early, family members can make informed decisions that protect and expand the family fortune. Millionaires also emphasize the importance of financial discipline. They teach that it is easy to spend carelessly when money is available, but long-term wealth is built through consistent, deliberate action. Family members learn to avoid impulsive purchases, unnecessary debt, and lifestyle inflation. They are shown how restraint and planning create opportunities and security that fleeting pleasures cannot provide. Debt management is another critical principle. Millionaires ensure their family understands the difference between productive debt and destructive debt. They teach how to use loans strategically for growth, while avoiding high-interest obligations that drain resources. This knowledge shields the family from financial pitfalls that often destroy wealth, and it creates a mindset of smart borrowing and repayment practices. Philanthropy and generosity are also part of money education. Millionaires teach their family that giving is not only an obligation but a way to create influence, impact, and purpose. They demonstrate how to give strategically, aligning resources with causes that matter. This principle shows that money is a tool for creating positive outcomes, and not just personal gain. Teaching philanthropy instills humility, perspective, and a sense of responsibility in the next generation. Communication about money is crucial. Millionaires encourage open discussions within the family about finances, goals, and responsibilities. They break down the stigma that often surrounds money topics and foster a culture of transparency. Family members learn to ask questions, share ideas, and make decisions together. This open communication prevents misunderstandings, conflicts, and mismanagement that can threaten wealth over time. Millionaires also focus on teaching entrepreneurs. They encourage family members to develop skills, start businesses, or explore opportunities to create multiple streams of income. This principle reinforces independence and innovation, while preparing the family to adapt to changing economic circumstances. Financial independence within the family strengthens the legacy and ensures that wealth is not dependent on a single individual. Estate planning and inheritance principles are shared proactively. Millionaires educate their family on wills, trusts, and other mechanisms to protect assets. They explain the importance of preparing for taxes, succession, and legal structures that safeguard wealth. By providing this knowledge, they prevent mismanagement and conflicts that could dissipate the family fortune after the original wealth creator passed. Teaching this prepares the next generation to handle responsibilities with confidence and understanding. Values and character are intertwined with financial education. Millionaires stress that wealth is meaningless without integrity, honesty, and responsibility. Family members are taught that how money is earned, used, and managed reflects personal character. Lessons in ethics, accountability, and wise decision-making are as critical as financial skill. By embedding values alongside knowledge, the family develops the discipline necessary to preserve wealth over generations. Practical experience is part of the education. Millionaires often involve family members in financial decisions, investments, or business ventures. Children may manage small budgets, learn to invest with guidance, or participate in family enterprises. Hands-on experience reinforces concepts, builds confidence, and prepares them for real-world responsibility. Learning by doing ensures that principles are not just theoretical but applied effectively. Millionaires also encourage curiosity and lifelong learning. Family members are taught to stay informed about markets, economies, industries, and personal finance strategy. They develop habits of reading, questioning, and analyzing opportunities. This continuous learning keeps the family adaptable, knowledgeable, and ready to protect or expand wealth as circumstances evolve. A legacy is more than money. It is a mindset of growth and understanding. Risk management is another focus. Family members are taught how to assess opportunities, understand potential downsides, and protect against losses. Insurance, diversification, and emergency planning are emphasized. By knowing how to identify and manage risks, the family can make bold financial moves confidently without jeopardizing long-term stability. This principle shields wealth from unforeseen events and ensures continuity. Millennials and younger generations are included intentionally. Millionaires tailor their teaching to the age and understanding of each family member. They introduce concepts gradually, ensuring comprehension and retention. They adjust methods as family members mature, reinforcing lessons and expanding responsibilities over time. This thoughtful approach ensures that each generation is prepared to inherit, manage, and grow wealth responsibly. Accountability is reinforced consistently. Millionaires hold their family members responsible for financial decisions, encouraging independence while maintaining guidance. Mistakes are used as learning opportunities rather than punishments. By cultivating responsibility, they ensure that every member understands the consequences of actions and learns to make informed, thoughtful choices. Accountability strengthens the family's ability to maintain and build wealth. Wealth preservation also includes emotional intelligence around money. Millionaires teach family members to separate emotions from decisions, avoid greed or impulsiveness, and practice patience. Understanding the psychological aspects of money management is critical because emotional mistakes often destroy wealth. By developing financial maturity, the family can act strategically and protect the legacy over time. Teaching family money principles also builds unity. When everyone understands shared values, goals, and responsibilities, conflicts about spending, inheritance, or investments are minimized. Collaboration becomes the norm rather than dispute. Millionaires know that a cohesive family strengthens the durability of wealth and ensures that resources are used wisely rather than dissipated through disagreements. Finally, millionaires model behavior daily. Teaching is reinforced through example. Families observe disciplined spending, smart investing, patience, generosity, and strategic thinking in practice. Observing these principles in action is often more powerful than lectures or advice. Modeling builds respect, trust, and understanding, ensuring that lessons are internalized naturally and consistently. By embedding money principles, practical experience, ethical values, and strategic guidance, millionaires ensure that their family can protect, grow, and sustain wealth. The focus is not just on passing assets, but on passing knowledge, discipline, and mindset. Teaching these principles safeguards the legacy, empowers future generations, and turns wealth into lasting security and opportunity for the family for decades and beyond.